Your relationship is in trouble and it's failing fast. I'm going to give you some quick tips that are going to allow you to salvage what you can and really help out before you figure out what it is you really want to do. Stay tuned. I am Carrie of Carrie Sutras, and I give sex and relationship advice with BIPOC and queer folk in mind. And today I'm talking about something that can be a real challenge and that we're seeing with a lot of urgency because COVID is wreaking havoc on our relationships. But here's some quick tips that we can talk about in regards to if you're finding that your relationship is failing really quickly and you guys need some quick help. Here's what they are. But before we go any further, I want you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so that you will get these videos every time I do one, which I do every Wednesday and Friday. And I love that when you subscribe and like my videos, it allows these videos to go through the YouTube algorithm space, and it allows us to connect every time. And I really enjoy this vibe that we've got going. We vibe together. Keep coming back. Click like and hit that bell for me. A really quick exercise that is so fundamentally beautiful when you are having problems is to take a deep breath. We're going to start with that. Take a deep breath. So tip number one is to give yourself a little bit of distance if you possibly can from this relationship space. And then once you've taken that deep breath, try just offering an exercise called mirroring. What mirroring is repeating back what your partner is trying to express to you. So if your partner is saying, I really hurt right now, I really don't like the way you're speaking to you, how you would mirror that thought back to them is to say something like this. What I'm hearing you say is that you really don't like the way that I'm speaking to you, that the tone that I took with you, you found offensive. Am I saying that right to you? I know that sounds weird and it may feel kind of awkward when I speak it in that way, but what mirroring does is it allows somebody to make them feel like you are really understanding them, and it opens up the ways that you guys can communicate together. When you mirror back, which is repeating back what your partner is telling you directly, almost verbatim if you can, it gives them the opportunity, one, to clarify what their thoughts are, and sometimes it will actually stop a person in their tracks to really sit down and go, wait, what am I feeling? Why does that bother me? And it gives opportunity and introduction for you guys to have a conversation and or for them to be able to clarify that particular thought. What you'll find is that just being heard is a major part of healing and repair. We all want to be noticed. We all want to be validated. And when you mirror back a response to your partner, even if it's in a heated space, like you can keep your cool and just hear and listen back to what they're saying, it goes a very long way to making a good space for the two of you. Another really good tip is to just listen. And it plays off of tip number one, which is that mirroring exercise. Because to be able to mirror, you gotta have been listening to what your partner is saying. A lot of the times we respond often. We get caught up in our emotions and our feelings, and we just blurt out whatever's going on. And so neither partner, neither person is hearing each other in the space of it. If you can just become for a moment an expert listener, that goes a long way to creating enough space for the two of you to really have good dialogue. Sometimes it takes just not saying anything. It is a challenge. I know that it's one of my biggest challenges. If you haven't figured it out, I like to talk. I like to be heard. And sometimes what I have found is very valuable is just sit back and simply listen to my partner. It It helps a lot, especially if your partner's not one to be able to verbalize easily or to tap into what they're feeling easily. Sometimes just giving them space to be able to feel safe as they're figuring out what they're feeling will invite them to speak to you. And communication is such a big key to healing a relationship that's going through some things. Tip number 3 is committing. When you are in the space and throes of a really bad time, it's so easy to want to run. And sometimes, now mind you, that might be the answer. Sometimes things get to that point where it's not salvageable and you have to face it. But at the same time, if you and your partner haven't hit those final tendrils, even though it may feel that way, making a commitment, even if it's for a short time span. Like sometimes you could say, we're going to try to work this out for 30 days. Making that commitment to be in that challenge time to work it out gives you guys a real space to put your energy forward and resource in. If you give yourselves that time so both of you can connect, it really helps to make for healing, to make for putting your relationship front and center. And that's needed if you're going to salvage a relationship that feels rocky. Another, I'm talking commitment word, tip number 4 is about committing to time to solve your relationship issues. And what I mean by that is getting into the same room together, nurturing the space together, committing to really bonding together. And what does it take to do that is putting in some grit time, spending it together, rediscover the things you like to do. Did you guys like play cards or, try and get to a neutral point? Maybe it's about discovering a new place that you guys can work things out together. But what I'm still coming back to, maybe it's a video. Spend time together. Whatever it is, get in each other's presence. Figure out what feels good between the two of you. Spend the time to make time, because there is one thing that's very true, that our attention goes, I got that wrong. Energy flows where our attention goes, and love is just that. It's yet another energy. Make time. It's worth it. I mentioned it before, and I think it's worth mentioning again, that not every relationship is salvageable all the time. And sometimes it's really hard to face, but a reality of being in relationships. I'd be interested to know, there are ways to be able to end a relationship in positive ways. And I'd be curious if you want to know about uncoupling. What that is really changing the face at how we view being in relationships and how we end them. That they don't have to be these dramatic and tragic places where we've got to walk away, where we hate our partners, but instead we can do and offer each other some real solace and walk away with holding of each other. Let me know if you'd be interested in seeing a video about uncoupling, and I will then do one, but put it in the comments below. In the meantime, if you've held on this long, that tells me that you're really interested about relationships and being in the relationship space. I am offering a 6-series relationship program with my dear friend Jyoti Saldana. It is all about forgiveness and how we can really work into the relationships and forgiveness in those spaces. In fact, we are going to be offering some handy tools and some real relationship resourcing so that you and your partner can build on intimacy, build on closeness, and create the relationship of your dreams. If you click the link below, you'll be able to get information about our series and some of the other ones that I am running as well. I'm all about sexual empowerment and bringing these spaces together, especially for our BIPOC, which is Black people and Indigenous people of color. And I'm also about bringing our lettered and queer folk to the table, because we need those spaces too. So click the link below. Find out what programs I'm running. I love to have you in these spaces with me.